Hi, my name is Jill Christian. I'm applying for the Spanish position at your school. A little bit about me is I'm from Santa Clara. I went to Snow Canyon High School in its first year when I was a sophomore, and my older brother Greg did as well his senior year. My experience teaching Spanish is I taught elementary for about 7 years first, and then switched to high school Spanish. So I served a Spanish-speaking mission and married an Argentine and have spoken Spanish for about the last 20 years of my life, 23 years of my life, every day. So I've lived in Argentina just as a married person with my child and my husband. So I didn't start teaching Spanish until about 3 years ago. I started teaching Spanish maybe 4 years ago. I started teaching Spanish at Hurricane High School here, just a long-term sub position, and I loved it. I took my praxis and got some interim positions out in North Carolina at a school called East Chapel Hill High School, and then finally got a position here, just a temporary interim position again at Desert Hills High School. But I was in North Carolina last year for a year teaching Spanish 1 and 2 at that high school, and I had taught interim before that. And now I'm in a part-time Spanish teaching position at Desert Hills Middle School, and I teach ESL at Desert Hills High School. They're both temporary positions, and the middle school position is closing, and so I am looking for a full-time Spanish teaching job. I am currently in an ESL endorsement class. I'll be endorsed November of this year, and then I'm currently finishing my world language endorsement with University of Texas at Austin, and that should be done before August. So that's a little bit about my experience with Spanish and teaching it as well. On to your next question. Why am I the best candidate for the job? I think because I'm extremely competent and fluent in Spanish, and I have a great experience in all the cultures. There's 21 cultures countries that speak Spanish, and I've had direct experience with 20 of the people from those countries. So I feel like I have a really good handle on Hispanic culture. Also, what sets me apart is that I've spoken it so much as an American for so long that I understand the language really well and the cultural implications, and I think I can bring an excitement to it by teaching it. What does it mean to be a member of a PLC team and collaboration? I think that being a member of a PLC team being a member of a team in general is super important. I love teamwork. I love sharing, and celebrating successes as a team, I think, is just as important as going to each other for help when things aren't working and maybe you need some support. Teaching is a very dynamic profession, and if you don't have a team or support, I think that it makes it that much harder. So I think that PLC collaboration has helped improve my student learning, because when you collaborate and share, you're really just helping the students in the long run. I love the way it's helped me the most is by sharing what works for me and hearing what works for other people, and then implementing new methods, because every year teaching is changing with technology that's getting introduced, with AI now, with just the changing culture of students and how they interact in the classroom during COVID, post-COVID, with cell phones, without cell phones. It's a challenging profession, and so I think that sharing methods, lesson plans is how PLC helps me improve student learning the best. In Spanish, I know Spanish is not a state-tested subject, but we do have our own common formative assessments, and I like to, as a team, keep up with those. I like to be as close to what my team is teaching as possible, so that ease of class changes, ease of going from middle school to high school, and keeping that kind of more uniform is easier on the kids in the system in general. And then on to the next question, how do I motivate students? I think I motivate students the best by having a relationship of trust with each one of them. I think these days with online school, it's easy for them to check out and say, I'm just going to do Utah Online. But if they have that personal connection with the teacher who's bringing an enthusiasm to the classroom and to the subject, and also just to them as an individual and a person, I think that that's what helps motivate my students the most. And then keeping it light and fun. Students in Spanish, it's an elective, so we have to remember that they can be taking ceramics instead. And so to keep it light and fun so that it's accessible to all types of learners, I think has been really successful for me in the past, and what helps motivate students. Also giving them chances to earn extra credit, and also teaching them how, if they want to really excel at Spanish, they can do that in my classroom as well. Talk about the Apple test and the seal of biliteracy and how that can help them get jobs, get into different colleges, put it on their college resumes and or college applications and on their resumes. Can really help motivate those high-level students to really achieve in the classroom. And then last question, do I have extra duty experience? As a high school teacher, I've been the advisor to clubs. I've done the Human Rights Club out in North Carolina, where we went to food shelters and we prepared and then served food at the food shelter twice a month with my club. And then this year I am the advisor on the Multicultural Club, and we're just gearing up to put on our Multicultural Week and kind of educate the student body on different cultural practices that students here at Desert Hills High have. And as far as sports, I've never coached a high school sport. However, I was an E-Shell. I was on the first year of the E-Shells with Mindy Matheson, and I'm an experienced dancer, but I don't know if you're looking for that right now. I think you guys with Lainey have that taken care of. She's doing a great job, but that is probably what I have the most experience in. And then also I did club soccer in high school, so assistant coaching a girls soccer team could be something that I could do in the future. But I love attending sporting events and just having connections with my students outside of the classroom, so I'll do that just on my own time without being asked to. I love to take tickets, be at the door, just help administration with whatever they need to on the weekends with those sporting events, and on school nights as well, just being there to support the team, which is my school team, my faculty and staff, and then also the student team. That's one of my favorite things of being a high school teacher. So that's it.